All right, hey guys, welcome back to Samco Tradbo. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about how you're gonna fail. Okay, there's no doubt about it. We're out here hog hunting, we're taking a break for a minute, and I'm parked on a spot where I can see down this road and down this road, and hopefully, well, so I'm killing two birds with one stone. While we're here and we're talking for a few minutes, I can keep an eye out. If something does cross, I can stop this video and then try to run down there and try and catch up to something. But I can see quarter mile that way, quarter mile that way, and we're in prime hog country. So we're kind of killing two birds with one stone here. But what we want to talk about is your failure, how failure is going to be a reality for you when you're bow hunting, and there's no two ways around it. It's going to hit you in every possible way there is. You're going to have failures in your scouting. Okay, you're going to scout and you're going to mess up and things are not going to go good. You're going to pick the wrong places. You're going to have a lot of times where you're not going to see animals. This is not like you watch on the outdoor channel, okay? This is not like when you watch the Lakoskis or some of this. I haven't watched any of them things in years, but it's not going to be where every single day they're out, they see 75 deer, okay? You're not going to have that kind of luck. If you have the fortunate aspect of being able to hunt private land, you might see a lot more animals than people that are on public. But on public, it's not uncommon to go a stretch of 10 or 12 days in a row of hunts and not even seeing a deer. Okay, this is the way things go. It is the reality. Same with hog hunting. There are people that have access to private land. They go out and kill a hog every single night. Okay, but when you get out here in the real world, it's a lot harder with a lot more work involved, okay? So you're gonna fail a lot on that kind of stuff. You're also gonna fail in your scouting on trying to pick these spots, okay? You're gonna think things are good, but then you're gonna get there and you're gonna be like, what the heck, and it's dead. All the failure is gonna happen to you. There is no two ways about it. You have to get it wrapped around your head that the failure is good, and we'll come back to that. Same with your shooting. Okay, you're gonna have days where you're spot on and you can drill them, and you're gonna have days where you can't. And then you have days where you could have a streak where you can go 10 animals and kill every single one of them with perfect double lung shots, and they fall over in sight, and life is good. And then all of a sudden you have a streak after that where you miss two, wound one, and things go downhill, and you're fighting like crazy to get back into it. And then from there on, for the next three animals after that, one's a bad hit because you're too nervous because you've had this streak and things went wrong, and now they're still bad. You're in this rut and you can't get out of it, and the only way out of it is to make a good hit on a live animal to bounce back. And you know, there's all these things that come into play. All these things are reality, okay? This is not what you see on TV or what you see on YouTube. This is the real world, and you are going to fail over and over and over again. There's just no two ways about it. What do you do with that failure? How do you advantage it? I mean, like I said, you've publicly heard me say, I have missed well over 100 animals. Okay, if you're in my Patreon channel, you see a lot of it, okay? And these are easy shots that I can do all day long, okay? I suffer from buck fever. I struggle with it very hardcore. I cannot beat it very well, and I cannot get away from it that great. So it's always there, and it's always an issue for me to deal with. And it hits me hard. I can't beat it, okay? I just can't beat it. I learned to cope with it and deal with it. But you are going to have so many failures of these kind of things. And I know a lot of people that give up a traditional bow because they're sick of the failure. They're sick of the deer being 10 yards too far. They're sick of getting their psychological inside, their aspect of them forcing them to take shots that are too far because they don't feel that they're going to get a shot if they don't, that it's the only shot I had mentality. They're tired of things going wrong and hits going bad and then not finding animals. They're sick of the constant having to practice. They're sick of all this kind of stuff, and I get it. I understand. It is not what you see on TV. It's like when a new hunter is coming into it and you get a 12 or 13-year-old kid and he's getting excited to go hunting with his dad, and he just got his hunter safety certificate and he's all ready and lined up to go. And so he's going to spend a lot of time watching the outdoor channel, watching this stuff. And then when his dad takes him out on public land and they're sitting, you know, in a funnel somewhere, and they see two raccoons, a squirrel, and maybe a yearling come through at dark, he's like, what the heck was this? This was the most boring thing. On TV, they go sit on the edge of a field and they watch deer for 4 straight hours, watch 30 deer in a field and wait for one to walk over them. Why aren't we hunting like that? It's not real, okay? It's not real. Failure is real. This is it. But we take that failure, especially as traditional bow hunters, and we use it and we redefine everything with it. Okay, we no longer look at it and go, dang it, we failed, this sucks. Instead, you will start finding yourself going, okay, today was a fail, but why? What went wrong? What was wrong with my shooting? What was wrong with my setup? Why did I miss this animal? Did I not pick a spot? Did I not focus enough? Was I doing something wrong? Was I just too nervous? Did I wait? Or should I have waited longer before I took the shot? What was the case there? In the woods, when you set up on these spots, why am I not in the right spot? Why didn't a deer come through here? I saw a sign that said the deer could have came through here. That means if they didn't come through now, is it just because I picked an off day? Is it because the food source is dried up and they've now moved? Is it because it's daytime and this is specifically nighttime travel? Is it because they're only coming through here in the morning and I've sat in the evening? Is it because they're only coming here when the wind is blowing this way? Because when the wind blows that way, they're going to bed in this particular area. Okay, we use this stuff. We take advantage of this and we put all that into perspective in our own world so that we get better. So failure is actually your best friend. The more you fail, the more you succeed. You have to understand that. It's okay to suck at all this stuff. Okay, it really is. It's okay to suck at shooting. Why? Because you know you suck and then you just practice to get better. It's okay to suck at hunting because then you just try harder and learn more from it and you benefit more. You've heard me say it many times. My first year I killed with a compound was sacrificial. Okay, I was sitting Indian style on my butt in a set of poplars in northern Michigan, and behind me 3 does ran up at 20 yards behind me and stood there. While they were standing there, I was sitting facing this way, Indian style on the ground with my bow laying next to me. They ran in and they smelt me downwind and stopped and stared at me. While they stared at me, I turned and stood up and I looked right at him, and then I realized my bow was on the ground, so I turned this way, reached down and picked my bow up. I was actually left or right-handed shooting at the time, but I picked my bow up, pulled my bow here, had to make sure my arrow came back out and set it on the TM Hunter rest because it was one of those 2-finger rests, so I set it on there, hooked my release on my string, pointed at the sky and drew it like this with its overdraw, came in and settled and found my kisser button, found my peep sight, thump, and I shot that doe. She stood there the whole time, let me do all this stuff from the ground, to let me do everything. Sacrificial deer. Then I thought, wow, this stuff is just too easy. This is dumb, and so when I ended up buying a recurve 2 months later, I was cocky. I thought this was going to be cakewalk and I thought it was going to be easy. I learned. It took me 3 years and I shot over the back of 12 deer in 3 years from tree stands, one from the ground, before I actually hit my first deer and killed it, okay? It's pretty crazy to have to go through something like that, but I learned more in those 3 years out of sheer determination to get good at this, to be able to do it. Now, at the time, I wasn't so focused on getting into deer because I was getting into deer. Okay, I already had that kind of sorted, but I wanted to kill one. I wanted to kill one with that recurve. I wanted to do it. So that was my drive, and the only way to do that was to hunt. And I was out there in weather that would blow your mind, conditions that were unbelievable. I was out there in minus 17-degree temperatures. It was unreal, wrapped up in a sleeping bag, and you name it, I did it all. Anything I could, pouring rain, you name it, I was trying to kill a deer. The 3 years of that taught me more about how deer move, where they go, why they do, because every single time I sat was, why did this happen? Why didn't it happen? How come this failed? What went wrong? And with the shooting, okay, the problem with the shooting is that you don't get to practice real world. Okay, I only had 12 opportunities in 3 years, which may not sound like a lot, or it might sound like a lot, but either way, it wasn't enough for me to dial in what was wrong, because sometimes I was too focused. In the beginning, when that was happening, I was actually struggling from target panic and short drawn like crazy with my Martin Mamba. I suffered 2 years with that, and it caused me a lot of issues. There were so many things going on. Point being, failure is failure, and you are going to suffer a huge dose of it, but it is how you handle that failure that is going to make or break you. You will either give up and take up golf or go buy a crossbow. And nothing wrong with crossbows, whatever people want to use, but if you want to buy it'll take you to go buy a crossbow or give that up and go get a gun. But if you instead can take that failure and you can turn that failure around, but if you can take that failure and turn it around and use it to your advantage, turn it into a positive, I promise you, it will change the game for you and you will benefit from it. Then you will take that skill set that you just developed on making failure your friend, and you will carry it over to everything in your life. When you're short on bills, you get laid off from a job, you can't afford to do this, your family does this, something catastrophic happens, this doesn't work out, you have a roof failure in your house, whatever it is, your car breaks down, you will learn to take the failure aspect of it instead of going, dang, and kicking the ground, and this sucks, and life is horrible, and what am I ever going to do? You will automatically realize that what you do is you find that silver lining, you turn around and find a way to make it right, and you learn from it and use it as an advantage. That's how you become a good hunter. Okay, that is the only way you become a good hunter. Not watching the Outdoor Channel, not getting set up on perfect properties where you can kill deer every single day. That doesn't make you a good hunter. Makes you a good killer. You want to be a good hunter, learn to turn your failures into positives and how to make them work for you. Make that enemy of failure your best friend and use it. Best advice I got for you. Thanks for watching.